Today we'll be learning how to make a smaller leather project. The first thing you'll need to do for your project is come up with a design. Around the room you'll find many identical sets, 5-piece sets such as this one. Let's just show you some of the ideas of what you can do with this set. To create this border, this tool was repeatedly used over and over for the length of the bookmark. It's pretty obvious that this flower was created using the flower tool, but the stem of the flower was created by using this tool called a veiner, using it first this direction and then this direction. To make this pattern, first the veiner was used to create the stem by going back and forth. Then a leaf tool was pulled out of the main box and used to add, and then was finished off with a lettering set. See how this keychain was made using obviously a snake, a lettering set, and the border was created by using this 4-piece barbed wire set. The first step is to moisten your leather. So if you have a bowl with a water and sponge, then you take up your sponge, squeeze it out some so that you don't drown your leather. If you have a bottle with the sponge built right in, don't squeeze it. It'll get plenty of water without being squeezed. Just watch, this is the one we're going to use. See how there's a small, like a small puddle appears and then quickly disappears? That's what you want, just a small puddle that disappears after a few seconds. This tool being kind of big, we'll take a couple of hits. The cedar is a very small tool, just takes one little tap. Very lightly. This is 11 characters long, and I want the middle of it to start in the middle of my project. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is going to be the middle of my project, and I'm going to start there, and then I want to put my letters going this direction, and then I'm going to work backwards. That's how I make sure I evenly space it on the project. Take your project, turn it over so that the rough side is up. Take a pen, write your name or your initials and the year that you made it. Remember again, if your project starts to dry out, it's okay to go back in. Lightly use the sponge, don't drown it. Now on the back of the project, put a mark at the middle. So I'm going to set it down, remembering where my mark is. Okay, I have the number 3 on. The pink mark on the stamp is facing me, so I know it's going to be right side up. And let's put it in. Notice again how I'm working backwards so that my project lettering is centered. Put the letter M on. Look for the paint mark to make sure I'm pointing the right direction. There we go. Now we're going to use the cedar to finish off the project. And remember, it just takes a very light tap. Okay, now the stamping has been completed and we're ready to add finishing. You'll need a table with a clear plastic cover on it. You need a bottle of Super Sheen, which is a clear finish. And you'll need a sponge that's been dampened with water but squeezed out really well. First thing you do, just take a little bit, wipe it off on the side of the jar, and just brush it on. Okay, we have the whole thing covered. Just take the sponge and wipe it off. See how the bubbles are going away? We just want to wipe that off so that none of the bubbles are laying on the surface. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes and you can see that the Super Sheen is dried. You don't even need to polish it for it to get a nice shiny coating to it. I would definitely not put any Super Sheen on the back of your project because it is a little softer for the back of a wristband to not have the Super Sheen on it. Here's an example of an actual project where everything went wrong. Devin didn't start out with the V in the middle of his project, he started out with a D. So he realized that he was running out of space for his name. Then he didn't look at the paint mark when he put the V down there, so he got his V sideways. And even worse than that, as he was hitting it, he wasn't applying a downward pressure on the tool, and so his letters were skipping all over the place. Look at how his O skipped. This is the proper tool to put in to a letter or one of the other large stamps like the cougar or the horse. That's obviously the wrong thing. That's a tool. Don't go trying to put that in. That's wrong. Okay. Now I'm holding it down with a constant downward pressure so that it doesn't skip. And I'm going to check my work here, see what it looks like. Okay, you can see that the W is not quite complete yet. So I'm going to carefully put the W back and feel it drop into the hole. As you slide it around, you'll feel it drop in. I may need to lean the tool just a little bit to fill in the other side of the W. And there we have it. The W is complete. Now all the stamping is finished and we've blow dried the project. Note that this is going to be a luggage tag and not a keychain because you wouldn't want to have your last name on a keychain. The product that we'll be finishing it with is called an all-in-one finish. This particular color is called chocolate cherry, kind of a mahogany, and it has the shine built right in so you don't have to shine it later. For the staining part, you'll want to wear some plastic gloves. Pour a little bit of the finish onto a piece of sheepskin and rub it in to the project. For groups, you'll do the same thing, only for easier cleanup. Use a piece of waxed paper, dip a dauber into the all-in-one finish, apply it, filling in all the cracks. We'll use a soft cloth to take the excess off. Okay, that's all there is to it. Now all we have to do is let it dry, or to speed things up, we'll blow dry it. I think that's a little bit visible there. You can see the right side is shinier than the left side. The more you buff it, the more it will shine. And I think you can see that difference there. Just add a keychain or a key ring and your project is done.